Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well. Today's lecture is from Basic Statistics and our topic is types and sources of data. Before we move forward, let me tell you that we use data in our daily life without even realizing it, like your exam marks, your age, temperature readings, or even the number of students in the class. All of these are examples of data. So in simple words, data is a collection of facts, figures, or information. In today's lecture, we will understand the basic concept of data, learn about the three main types of data, and explore the different sources of data. By the end of this lecture, you will be able to identify what type of data you are dealing with and where it comes from, which is very important for statistics. So let's begin. Okay, so in the topic of types and sources of data, first we will learn what the data is. So data refers to raw facts, figures, observations, or measurement that have no meaning by themselves. What does this mean? Raw means unprocessed, that is not yet organized or analyzed. Facts and figures are numbers or information. Facts and figures are numbers or information. Observations are things we notice. Observations are things that we notice, like behavior, events, etc. Measurements are values we record, like height, weight, temperature. So, in simple words, data is information collected its in original form before it is analyzed or interpreted. So examples are 25. This 25 is a number. Blue is a color. Islamabad is a city. December 15 may be date for an event, are all pieces of data. So next comes types of data. In this lecture, we will learn about three different types of data. One is by nature, one is by source, and the third one is by measurement scale. These three are the basics of data types. Why we need to understand data types based on these three different types? So the answer is understanding data types is fundamental in fields like data science, statistics, research, and business analytics, as it guides how we collect, process, analyze, and interpret information. First type is based on its nature. Based on nature, data can be divided into qualitative and quantitative. First type is qualitative data. This type of data describes qualities or characteristics that cannot be measured numerically. First characteristic is non-numerical. Second is descriptive, means describable, and can be observed but not measured. Example is color. Color cannot be written numerically. You can describe it like the color is blue, can be observed but cannot be measured. Similarly, gender can be male or female. You can describe it but you cannot write it numerically. Marital status, that is where there is single, married or divorced. This is again a non-numerical quantity. Which is basically a quality. Blood type can be B positive or A positive. You can describe it but you cannot write it numerically. Next is quantitative data. Quantitative data is based on numbers, that is, you can write it numerically. This type of data represents numerical values that can be measured or counted. So you can measure it or you can count it. Its characteristics are, it can be write numerically, can be mathematically manipulated, meaning that you can perform any mathematical operation on it, like addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. And you can do statistical analysis on it, meaning that you can apply any formula or statistical formula on it. Examples are height, weight, temperature, age, etc. This means that anything or any observation or any data which can be expressed in number is called quantitative data. Okay, next comes types of data based on source. So data can be divided into two. One is primary data and secondary data. That is, based on source, there are two types of data, primary data and secondary data. So first is primary data. Primary data is the data that is collected for the first time, or you can say that collected first hand by a researcher for a specific purpose. So raw data is a primary data, or data collected for the first time is the primary data. So for a primary data, you need to use methods for its collection because you have to collect it as it is raw data. So these are the methods. The first method is survey and questionnaires. The second method is interviews, meaning that you can get primary data by using survey and questionnaires, or by interviews, or by experiments, or by observations. So these are the four methods of primary data collection, which I have written it here for you. Next is secondary data. So secondary data is already collected and you have to use it, or a researcher have to use it. So secondary data is the already collected data and available for use. So its sources are government publications, means you can get it from a source, and the source may be government publications, research journals, company reports, or online databases. Here I have opened a website for you, that is this one, State Bank of Pakistan. So if you see, there is a lot of information on this website. So here's publications, mean publications are available weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, annually, and so on. And here is another option, that is economic data. So you can search economic data from here if you need it, like balance of trade. Balance of trade data is given here. If you click it, then you will open this. So this balance of trade is of which date? This is of, for this 21 fiscal year 21, fiscal year 22, and so on up to 25. Fiscal year is a year. Here is information about fiscal year of 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. And here's a graphical representation of it. So fiscal year is a financial year used for accounting and reporting, and it is based on 12 months. So Pakistan fiscal year starts from July 1st and ends at June 30. So this is information. And balance of trade. Balance of trade is the difference between a country's exports and imports of goods. So here is given exports. If you need, you can check it. So this is a website, and it is a source for secondary data. So the third data type is based on measurement scale. So by measurement scale, we can divide data into 4 categories. Why measurement scale is important? For interpretation purpose and analyzation purpose, this measurement scale is very important, because we need to identify or correctly identify the category or this measurement scale of a particular
Most of the data are ratio data.
Like the first one is nominal data. So nominal just represents a name. So this is a qualitative data, means a data, if nominal, just refers to the quality of the variable or the observation or the data. So this is basically based on name. Ordinal data. This is a bit advanced of this nominal data because it is based on name and order, meaning that order matters in ordinal data. Interval data. Interval data is a data which can take values in a given interval. This is a bit advanced from ordinal data, but more advanced from ordinal data. Next one is ratio data. So all types of data falls in ratio data. But this is totally based on numbers, mean those data which can be expressed numerically is called ratio data. There are somehow differences or little bit differences. You need to understand them so that you can correctly identify the measurement scale of a particular data. So first one is nominal data. Nominal data is a qualitative data, just represent a quality, right? That is, you cannot measure it, you cannot numerically count it, but just you can express it as a quality, like eye color. So it can be blue, brown, or green. So this order doesn't matter. Nationality, person can be American, Japanese, or religion. This religion is also fall in nominal data. That is, a person can be Muslim, Christian, or Jew, etc. So the characteristics of nominal data are it have mutually exclusive categories. Mutually exclusive categories means that there is nothing common in between them, like nationality is a nominal data. So a person can be American or Japanese, but there is nothing common in between them, that is their intersection is 0. This means American is a different nationality, Japanese is a different nationality. So these are mutually exclusive. No inherent order. There is no order. That is, we cannot say that Americans are better than Japanese or Japanese are faster than American. Cannot perform mathematical operations means you cannot use plus sign or plus operation here, nor you can use minus, nor multiplication, or nor division. Means these all are not applicable in nominal data. The next one is ordinal data. Ordinal data represent categories but with some order. Here in nominal data no order required, but in ordinal data we have required some order. Like first characteristic is it must be in order. Second characteristic is there must be an order, but we didn't know, or we do not know how much difference are present between the categories. I'll explain you in example. Okay, you cannot add or subtract meaningfully, means plus or minus cannot be used here. Similarly, division or multiplication cannot be used here. Like we have education level, for example high school, bachelor's, masters. We can order them. Like high school means a person is not much educated as compared to bachelor's or as compared to masters. So this master is at higher category than the high school certificate holder. Next one is customer satisfaction. Someone can say that I'm very unsatisfied, someone say that satisfied, neutral, or satisfied or very satisfied. So these 5 categories can be ordered from low to high. But we cannot know how much. How much is this very unsatisfied is from this satisfied. Means when we cannot measure the difference. Similarly, socio-economic status means low, middle, high. Low means poor, middle means average man, middle class, or high means rich person.
1 billion
So
and
this
15
rich
billion,
person
there
can
is
be
14 billion
any
difference.
rich. Like you cannot measure the amount of this richness, because suppose that we define that a 1 million person or 1 billion
29 billion
money
difference.
holder or cash holder is considered to be rich. So here we say that 1 million person money holder person is considered to be an average man. So this difference cannot be judged or cannot be equal, because there is a huge difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Again, we can say that a 15 billion person is again fall in this rich category. But 1 billion and 15 billion difference is of 5 billion. So we can say that a 30 billion person is again rich. So 1 billion and 30 billion holds 20 billion
29
difference,
billion
while
and
this 15
39
billion and 30
billion.
billion holds 15 billion difference. So the differences among them can't be equal, right? So once a rich man fall in this high or rich category, he can hold any amount of money, and the difference between them cannot be equal or not necessary to be equal. The next one is interval data. So interval data are numerical data. This interval data and ratio data are numerical data, while these two are numerical data, while numerical because you can measure it, you can write it in numbers, while these two data or measurement scales are qualitative data, yeah, or you can say that non-numerical, qualitative. So you cannot express them numerically, nor you can do an operation on it like addition, subtraction. You cannot do any operation on them, but as these two are numerical, so here you can perform some mathematical operation on it. So here is interval data. Interval data are numerical data with equal intervals, but here you have to be careful about intervals, but not a true 0 point, meaning that 0 doesn't mean what 0 really means. Like usually 0 means nothing, but here 0 doesn't mean nothing. So here you can order interval data with equal intervals, not true 0 point. Means 0 doesn't mean none. Like suppose 0 doesn't mean none means suppose if the temperature is 0 degree C, then we cannot say that there is no temperature. We say that there is cold because 0 degree C is a freezing point. You can do only two mathematical operation here. One is plus and the other one is minus. Means you can perform only two operations on interval data. Examples are temperature. Temperature is an example because you can express it in interval. Similarly, I-score, IQ score, and calendar years are examples of this interval data. Multiplication and division doesn't hold here. Like how? Because suppose if a student IQ score is 120 and another student IQ score is suppose another student IQ score is suppose 60, then we cannot say that this 120 scores holder is twice intelligent as this 60 score holder. So multiplication or division doesn't hold here. Last one is ratio data. So all operations hold here, whether addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. Means you can use addition, you can use subtraction, multiplication or division on this type of data. So this can be ordered with equal intervals, has absolute 0. 0 means, meaning that 0 means 0 here. 0, if 0 means nothing, then this nothing holds here. All mathematical operations are possible, like I have told you before. Suppose height is an example of ratio data where 0 centimeter height means no height. No height means 0. Weight is an example of ratio data, and 0 kg means no weight. So age is an example of ratio data, and 0 years means newborn, like is of a boy, age of 20 days or 2 months, etc. Income, in income, rupees 0 means no income, so 0 is meaningful here. So this was all about data and its types. Now I have given exercise at the end of the notes, so you can practice. You can identify different types of data. You can say that whether data is like qualitative or quantitative. If qualitative, then whether nominal or ordinal. Like I'm just writing summary here. Data can be divided as qualitative or quantitative. Quantitative. If qualitative, then it can be nominal or ordinal. If quantitative, then it can be either discrete or continuous. News. If discrete, then it can be ratio data, or if continuous, then it can be interval or ratio data. Or ratio. Similarly here, interval or ratio. For discrete, you have to express a number or a variable as a whole, or in continuous, you can express the number in decimal. This is qualitative. So for the identification of data and its types, you must say whether qualitative or quantitative. If qualitative, then nominal or ordinal. And if quantitative, then whether discrete or continuous. And if discrete, then whether interval or ratio. Or if continuous, then whether interval or ratio. So this was all about data.